I steal others' art all the time. I've stolen something from Van Gogh, Picasso, from many famous artists, and I think it's okay. Stealing art is not like plagiarizing. Plagiarizing is saying that someone else's art, I drew it. That's plagiarizing. That's not stealing. For instance, if I said I made Starry Night by Van Gogh and played it off as my own, that's plagiarizing. But if I took elements from his Starry Night and added it into my own work, that's stealing. Steal Like an Artist, written by Kleon, is a whole book dedicated to this prompt, that nothing is original anymore and that we steal others' art all the time. It's a bit of a depressing thought, but in a way it's true. Think of a sunset, for instance. You've seen a sunset painted, drawn out with pencil crayons or Crayolas 1,000 times, but they're all different in their own way. That's stealing. Stealing is about finding a new way to interpret something, and there's probably a chance that you've already done it as well. Maybe you like the way another artist drew a tree, so you add that into your own art, or how someone drew the eyes, so you tried that in as well. And we all steal, and that's okay. Hi everybody, my name is Sambel, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Steal Like an Artist, written by Kleon. This is a book with the prompt of everybody steals art and how to steal art. Like I said, stealing is not about plagiarizing or trying to play it off as your own thing. It's about how you interpret art and adding your own twist onto it. And to be honest, I've had this book sitting on my shelf for a couple of years now, and I'm so happy that I've actually gotten to read it because it's made me feel less alone in the art world, or made me feel less insecure about my own art in certain ways. So I'd love to share with you some of the tips and tricks that I found while reading this book. You'll also notice I have my buddy Kashmir at my feet today. If you can see him at all, he's gonna be our buddy. So let me get out my handy dandy little notebook. Now, when I was reading this book, I was very confused by the notion of steal like an artist, because I thought that was plagiarizing. Like what I spoke about earlier about adding some other people's art into your own art, I thought that was plagiarizing. So this idea to want to be so completely unique in the art world is very daunting. It's something that I stress about a lot nowadays. Oh, I want to stand out online, or I want people to recognize me for this certain tip or trick, and that's just not how it's done anymore, if I'm being honest. Everyone steals, and I think that's completely okay. Nothing is original anymore, and while that's a bit of a sad thought, it's also quite true. And while I was reading this book, some points that I wrote down were you have to figure out what's worth stealing and then move on to the next thing. Not everything is worth stealing. For you or for me, we all have different things that we actually want to steal, and that's okay. You get to figure out what's worth stealing to you and make that your priority. And when you look at the world this way, you stop worrying about what's good or what's bad. There's only things that are worth stealing and things that are not worth stealing. We are all collectors, we're not hoarders. We want to collect things that we want in our art, not just hoard every piece of information that we have. So after kind of reading that first chapter, it made me realize like, oh, I've been trying to collect everything from everyone that I see. And I think there's a difference of admiring someone's work or actually wanting to add that into your own work. I've seen it so much of me trying to add in everything that I liked in someone else's art into my own art, and that's just not how it works. It makes my art look inconsistent. It looks all mumbo jumbo, things like that. It doesn't look like me or how I want to showcase my work in a way. So I think after reading that, I've been a lot more selective, and I've kind of changed my mindset of like, do I actually want this in my own art, or do I just love that about someone else's art? And I think I also had this notion that I shouldn't copy other people's artwork, even though that's okay and that's how we learn. So I don't know why, but with art, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't copy other people's work because that's plagiarizing and people will see me in a bad light. But copying is how you learn. That's how you make mistakes. That's how you adapt, and that's how you challenge yourself to try new things, right? Oh, can you hear the dogs? Or how do we all learn the alphabet? We learned that by copying down the alphabet. How do musicians learn music? They learned that by copying music that's already been made. I want to start making this notion of copying art is okay. Let's make that the new standard in the art world. And when we're copying someone's art, there's a fine line that we must cross when you find someone you want to copy. You're trying to get a glimpse into their mind and how they see the world. You don't want to be a cheap knockoff. Imitation is about copying. Emulation is about breaking through into your own thing. If you admire how someone drew eyes, copy that and see how that goes, right? I just think that it's not as bad as it sounds, as long as you're not trying to play off. Like, everyone knows I didn't do Starry Night, but it's about experimenting and trying new things, right? I think that we give ourselves so many limitations in this world about, oh, if it's art, it has to be original, it has to be unique, or it's not good enough. That really shouldn't be the notion that we take home at the end of the day. I think it should be about kind of expanding your mind to different possibilities and seeing where that takes you. To start this hunt of what art you want to steal, find an artist that you enjoy, study everything about them, study their interests, artist, who they look up to, what they like to do on the weekends, what are their hobbies, study everything about them. The point of this is that you're trying to get a glimpse into their mind. You want to see their perspective on the world and where that takes them. Is this similar to yours or is it completely different? And I think just learning all that stuff will broaden your horizons so much more into what you want to do in your own art. And this is how you build that foundation of who you are as an artist. If you like the vibrant colors, if you like more muted realism, this is how you broaden that horizon and you get that solid foundation that you've probably been looking for, like I have all my life. And I think to truly be creative as well, you have to get out into the real world. I think that if you're just stuck at home all the time and just looking on your phone for inspiration, you're not gonna be as creative as you hope you'd be. And if you're like me and you're stuck in 3 feet of snow in Canada right now, it's gonna be a bit tricky, or that want to get outside is not necessarily there, which is completely okay. So we can build our own world. Another point that I love in this book is about making your own little world. So I think you've seen different corners of my world, but my little office is my little world. It's my little creative space where I can be free and do whatever I want. I think it's also important to have 2 separate spaces. So I have a table behind you that I don't do any digital work on it. I only do analogs, like my painting, my oil pastels. That's that own space. And then I have my desk where my desktop is, where I just do my desktop work. I think it's important to separate that because the digital world is a beautiful and yet scary place. And I think just in my little brain, I want to separate those 2 things and allow myself to be creative in different ways. And with social media being so live, it's a great opportunity to embrace finding a community. This can be a community of people who have similar interests to you or people who don't, and then you can learn something new. And I think I love this notion of finding your own little world, especially with the notion of post-grad life. I think I've been feeling that a lot recently, and I don't think I really appreciated how nice it is to be in school as a creative person, because once you're out of school, people don't have to care about you. They don't have to care about your work. They don't have to care about what you like or anything like that. But when you're in school, everyone cares. Let me find a quote that I loved from the book that really hit home. There's a kind of fallout that happens when you leave college. The classroom is a wonderful, if artificial place. The professor gets paid to pay attention to your ideas. Your classmates are paying attention to pay attention to your ideas. Never again in your life will you have such a captivating audience. And it's true. Let me tell you this. People don't have to give a shit once you're outside of school, and they probably won't give a shit. And I think the sooner that you accept that, and the sooner that you find your little community of people who give a shit about your work, life is going to be so much easier and so much more fulfilling in the long run. I think just accepting that idea of, okay, people don't have to care about my stuff is sad, and that's just the reality of life. I think being out of post-grad too, hitting home of, wow, not everyone cares, or wow, people don't have to care, or that engagement from my classmates isn't there anymore, or that little community that I love so much in those couple of years is just gone in a sense. And don't worry, I still have those connections with like classmates that I keep in touch every once in a while, or that kind of idea, or I like their post or a comment on it, and vice versa. It's just not as engaging anymore. I think I felt so creative when I was in school because I was also forced to be creative. Every week I had to pump out an assignment again and again and again. Now that I don't necessarily have to, it's different. My creativity has like plummeted significantly since school. I think another thing that I'm actively taking for granted and that I'm trying to embrace more is obscurity. And if you watch my vision board video, you'll see all the dreams that I have, and I'm gonna appreciate the obscurity, the place that I'm in right now of, okay, well, I'm not there yet. And I think that I'm in such a rush to get there that I'm not appreciating just sitting in my little room right now, not having expectations. Because once you get paid, people start caring and people start giving you rules and things like that. And I do want to get paid for my work, and it's one of my goals as like an artist and as a graphic designer that I do want to get paid for my work. I'm just gonna appreciate not being there yet. And I think there's that whole, it's actually, I think it's a psychology term of, oh, I actually forgot what it's called. I think it's called the arrival fantasy. Yeah, the arrival fantasy. But basically it's you only dream about, or you only enjoy life when you get to that point. So for me, in my example, it's I will only be happy once I reach that point of success, of wealth, of whatever that I want. That's only when I'll be happy. But when you get to that point, you don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel like you've made it necessarily. You just kind of feel empty when you actually get there because you weren't appreciating time that you put into everything. So I think right now I'm enjoying that obscurity a bit more of, oh, I don't have to get there right now, or I don't need to be there. I can just enjoy kind of having fun and hanging out here. And then when I get there, I'll appreciate everything else a bit more. And honestly, when I was reading this book too, I was expecting it to be all about stealing art. I didn't think this book would like hit home so much, or kind of point out things that I realized that I've been neglecting a lot as well. Like that obscurity or like being bored. And honestly, it's been a bit of a trend on social media to be bored more, and I think this is one of the trends that I actually like. Now, once again, social media takes it way out of proportion. You don't need to be bored or force yourself to be bored for hours on end. I think just being able to sit with that boredom for a couple of minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you're feeling ambitious, is more than enough. Being bored is good. I don't think people understand that enough, but being bored is very good. I think we should embrace that a bit more. And I've been a lot more bored, which is great since not having social media on my phone. I want to be a content creator and I want to be online more, but I don't have social media on my phone. And honestly, it's been a bit of a blessing. When I was bored, I'd go on my phone. I'd go on Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest or even YouTube. I was desperate, I'd go on YouTube Shorts. And I haven't been doing that. I've let myself be bored. I've let my mind wander a bit more. It's been for the better, if I'm being honest. Like, I want to paint more. I want to pick up my book and see where I left off on that chapter. I want to draw more. I want to try my acrylic paints or my oil pastels more. I want to experiment more in my art world, and I'm letting myself do that. Because when I was bored before, I just go on my phone. It was the easy fix, the easy dopamine rush that we all crave. And don't get me wrong, I still have moments where I go on my iPad or my laptop and I just go on Instagram and I get lost. I'm getting better at it, don't worry. And I feel like my mental health has been a lot better as well. Let me just sit with my boredom a bit more. Let me just sit and see where it takes me. And I think I've let myself calm down or not compare myself as much without being on social media, because we're all learning here. I think as an artist as well, I'm very insecure. I'm very insecure as an artist, and I think with the art style that's, you know, come into play a lot as well. But I think just letting myself be bored and just sit with those thoughts has made the thoughts a lot less scary about my business, about myself, about life. If I'm being completely honest, I think it's made it a lot easier to just sit down and relax and reflect on my day more. Oh, hi, handsome. I know, I'm gonna say this now as well. Having no social media on my phone is not a cure-all. It has some great advantages, and social media is a great space if you want to build your world or you want to build that little community. It's a great place to get started and to embrace that, right? I'm just saying, challenge yourself. Next time you're bored, maybe don't go on your phone. Maybe read a book instead, or maybe try out a new art style or try out a new medium in your art. I just think when you're bored, just sit with it. And being bored sucks. Being in this weird obscurity void sucks. I think if you start trying to embrace it a bit more, you'll kind of realize that it's not such a bad place, if I'm being honest. I think just embracing that will make things a lot more fun in the future. I think another fun part, oh my god, the dog. With that being said, I think when you're trying a new medium or trying something else, I think when you're bored and you want to try a new medium next time, limitate yourself. Only paint with 2 colors. Only use 1 brush. Try that thing, or try making it super small. Like, try a different size. And I think that's a bit contradicting. People think of an artist, they're like, why don't you want all the money in the world? Don't you want all the resources to make whatever you want? And in a way, yes, but also no. I think when I have so many colors or I see so many things online, like, I don't know where to start. Like, I limit myself if I don't have limitations. I feel like sometimes I need to force myself a bit more with only picking certain color palettes or certain things. And I think that's okay. I think you should limit yourself more because it's not as overwhelming. I only have these 2 colors. Let me work with what I have. I think if you look at things, like, if you start limiting yourself in a positive way, you'll actually be able to expand your mind a lot more. And you've probably seen that this whole video about me doing a little oil pastel, probably stealing someone's art, stealing a couple ideas here and there, and I want you to know that's okay. And with that being said, I hope you steal someone's work today. Steal what they made and make it your own. I hope you realize that it's a bit more liberating of a thought than anything else. And if you have time, go read this book. There's a lot more fun facts in there that I did not get to today, and I hope you kind of take the time and read through them, skim through it. It's an easy book. I feel you can finish that in a couple days. You really put your mind to it. And make sure when you steal someone's art, it's worth stealing. Because look at me, I just stole this whole video. Bye guys.